Welcome back to Life Sciences Knowledge Hub. I'm David, and as always, you're in the right place for industry insights and analysis. Joining us now is CPI's Lucy Foley. Hello, Lucy. How are you doing today?
Hi, David. Very well, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Just to kick us off, tell us a little bit more about CPI and specifically the Biologics team where you work.
Okay. So CPI was founded in 2004, and it's a government-backed, independent technology and innovation company that's really focused around helping lots of different businesses in different industry sectors get their inventions through to commercial production. So making sure that every invention has the best chances of success. So what we don't want is inventions to fail in their development for a reason that we could have solved and that would have meant that invention had got to market and been success and saved lives, made people's lives better, saved the environment or something in some way. And we work across a number of different industries, providing different services from our different business units. So our founding business unit is our biotechnology business unit, which is based in Wilton in the northeast of England. And then we've got a large presence in Sedgefield with our National Formulation Centre, our Printed Electronics Centre, and our Healthcare Photonics Centre. I work for CPI Biologics, so the Biologics business unit, and we're based out of Darlington in the National Biologics Manufacturing Centre. We also have a hybrid electronics centre over in Newton Aycliffe, and we are about to open later this year the Medicines Manufacturing Innovation Centre up in Glasgow. So we service a lot of different industries, but my focus is specifically on the pharma industry and more specifically biopharma. And so CPI Biologics, based out of the National Biologics Manufacturing Centre, really works with different types of companies in the biopharma industry, be that people who are manufacturing a novel product or have a bit of manufacturing technology or a way to make a process smarter. We work with all these different companies to help make sure that their technology and innovation gets to market and makes a difference in the manufacture of biopharmaceutical entities.
So it's a very admirable aim there, to make sure that those good ideas, those ideas that have the potential to make a real difference, don't trip up, don't fall down any avoidable potholes, and that they do go the distance in order to have their maximum impact. What is it that you're able to do then? How are you able to ensure that those ideas, those technologies do make it to market? What are the services that you provide in that case?
So I think, first of all, for CPI as a company that's 17 years old, we've seen thousands of SMEs and through to thousands of SMEs, but also lots of large corporations looking at a new technology or innovation and trying to, go on that journey. And so the knowledge that sits within CPI across a lot of sectors about the fundamentals of what you need to make a technology successful is really, really good, grounding. So before we even get into any of the technical stuff we can do, it's that knowledge of business systems, processes, access to funding, access to the right people at the right time, those networks. CPI has really got a good grasp around that and how you can help a business gear itself up for success. In terms, and I'm going to focus specifically on the biopharma part of the business because that's what I know best. We have a facility which is a 5,000 square meter facility based in Darlington that has 13 flexible laboratories, and in those laboratories we do a lot of process development and scale up for lots of different types of biopharmaceutical entities. So you always start with a sort of high throughput approach to collect as much data around a process as possible. And we're able to take that through to sort of process proving and then to producing preclinical material for further studies. And we can do that in microbial and mammalian cell lines. And we work across anything from monoclonal antibodies, viral vector manufacture, and into mRNA manufacture, and then working with our formulations group on how you might formulate some of these products. Until recently, we were really focused around process development up to production of material for tox studies, but now we're able to take that further in that we've got a small clinical GMP provision on site at Darlington as well.
Wow, good stuff. Really, really interesting. how has the pandemic, and then this is a question we've been asking to everyone, we've had a real variety of responses. How has the pandemic affected what it is that you're doing, and how you're able to help those companies see their products to market?
I think, this can be addressed in a number of ways. First of all, there's the involvement we've had in the development of COVID-19 vaccines and antibodies to treat people with COVID-19 and other technologies that may be applicable in the fight against coronavirus. But there's also the fact that, the work that we do in helping companies translate their innovations needed to continue throughout coronavirus and throughout the pandemic. So we needed to, because we needed to think of what would the impact of us stopping work now would have in 5 years' time, when we weren't seeing these new products and processes coming to market, and the industry that would be set back because of that. And so really we continued to operate our business throughout coronavirus, yes, under very, very strict restrictions. And it's been, the staff have been fantastic and being able to keep these projects going and effectively keep the industry growing in the background, whilst everyone's been really looking at our industry and saying, how can you help us make vaccines and antibodies to fight coronavirus? So it's been a challenging but massively exciting time, both in what we would call our business as usual and the work that we've done to support the fight against coronavirus. What I would say is, for us as a skill set as well, now I think our families and friends for the first time ever understand what we do.
Yes, that is a very strong point there. You mentioned the pandemic, and the role that vaccines have been playing. You are part of the UK government's vaccine task force. What is that? And can you elaborate on that role that you're playing there?
Yeah, sure. So the vaccines task force was put together very early last year, when coronavirus was clearly becoming a problem in the world. And it was the UK's response to look at technology in the UK that may have a fighting chance in helping us fight coronavirus, as well as global surveillance on vaccines in development, and making sure that the UK made the right purchasing decisions on vaccines that they would procure to treat the UK. So we are part of the vaccines task force, and there was 2 platforms that were really of interest to the UK government, and one was the Oxford adenovirus platform, which is the vaccine that many of us will have had in recent months, and is a fantastic success story for the UK. And the second was the mRNA or RNA vaccines, which was primarily led out of Imperial and Professor Robin Shattuck's group. And we had experience in doing RNA manufacture at Darlington, and so we were able to work with that group to look at how we'd establish a platform process for the UK. So really, Darlington and the National Biologics Manufacturing Centre has now spent the last 12 months becoming really skilled in RNA manufacturing and the different component parts of that process, but also getting ready for GMP manufacturers should we ever have to manufacture an RNA vaccine for clinical or commercial use. And you would have seen announced in the budget that CPI received some further funding as part of that work to look at how we might support the UK government in providing a rapid response to coronavirus variants. So really looking at how we bank a library of coronavirus vaccines that target different variants that we could pull very quickly into a clinical study should a variant become a variant of concern.
Of course, and that future-facing piece is so very, very, very important, and exciting that you got the mention in the budget and some funding to go with it. Before we run out of time, just paint that future picture for me. Are you optimistic about what the future looks like for the pharma industry in the UK following the pandemic? Has the industry been able to prove anything that sets it in a good stead for the years to come?
I think we've got to commend the UK in the way that the community has pulled together and responded to the coronavirus threat in terms of the technology and the technology providers, the CDMOs, the pharma companies have all worked together to make sure that we could get vaccine either through purchase or through manufacture. And that collaboration, I really hope continues, and I know it will, because it was something that it was foundational to the industry pre-coronavirus, but we've really demonstrated how collaboration and close networks can add real value. And I'm sure that will continue beyond the coronavirus.
Well, here's hoping. Listen, Lucy, thank you very much indeed for joining us today, and I wish you every success for the future.